In the quiet lull of a spring afternoon, the Slater household sat in uneasy silence. The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound that dared to interrupt the tension pressing against the walls. Margaret Slater stared blankly at the television screen, though it was muted. She wasn't watching the news, but it was there, always there, like a ghost haunting the edges of her reality. It had been 8 months since Jay Slater vanished. 8 months of unanswered questions, social media speculation, cruel rumors, and an overwhelming sense of powerlessness. The 19-year-old had disappeared while on a solo backpacking trip through Eastern Europe. His last known location was a remote village nestled in the Carpathian Mountains. He had sent a voice note to a friend, garbled, panicked, and then nothing. The police had closed the case. The official story: Jay had likely gotten lost, maybe slipped near the rocky cliffs, and his body was never recovered. But that answer never sat well with the Slaters, especially not with Margaret. Then came Noah Trask. Known online as No Stone Unturned, Trask had built a cult following on YouTube investigating cold cases with a dramatic flair. He wasn't a licensed detective, but his obsessive nature and willingness to travel to places most journalists wouldn't earn him both admirers and critics. Some saw him as a hero, a seeker of truth. Others called him an opportunist, exploiting grief for views and ad revenue. He had covered the Jay Slater disappearance in a 5-part docuseries months ago. But as time passed and interest waned, so did Trask's involvement, until last week. That's when he dropped the bombshell. IHAVNEWEVIDNC, read the title of his latest upload. In all caps. Thumbnail blurred just enough to seem ominous. The video had racked up 3.2 million views in less than 48 hours. Margaret didn't want to watch it. She told herself it was for her own sanity. But David, Jay's older brother, couldn't resist. He played it in the garage, thinking he could spare his mother the pain. But her ears were attuned to anything involving Jay. The moment she heard Trask's raspy, theatrically serious voice filter through the wall, she followed the sound like a moth to flame. "I was contacted by an anonymous source," Trask began. "They claim to have access to Jay's last known cell tower data, and there's a discrepancy." He laid out his findings with chilling precision. According to this source, Jay's phone had pinged not in the area police claimed to have searched thoroughly, but nearly 15 kilometers east, near an abandoned military outpost long since swallowed by forest. "There are no records of any search teams exploring this area," Trask said. "If Jay was there, then the entire narrative we've been told is false." He showed grainy footage of himself hiking through the overgrown ruins. An old jacket was found, blue, similar to one Jay was believed to have packed. In one corner of a broken-down bunker, he zoomed in on what appeared to be a scratched message on the wall. "Jay's S6/19" it read. The same day Jay vanished. The comment section erupted with chaos. Some called it definitive proof. Others screamed fake. But for Margaret, it didn't matter if it was real or staged. The pain was the same. She hadn't slept properly since that video went live. "It's like losing him all over again," she whispered to David that night. "I know," David replied, though he didn't really. No one could know what it was like to be a mother watching the world treat your child's disappearance like a puzzle box for entertainment. Trask had announced that he would be returning to the outpost in his next video, planning to livestream a 48-hour vigil there. "If Jay's spirit is still out there, we owe it to him to listen," he said solemnly. The phrasing made Margaret feel physically sick. Still, a part of her hoped. What if Trask had truly found something? What if the police had lied or simply failed? What if this YouTuber, as brash and self-serving as he seemed, could bring her son home? David, meanwhile, reached out to a private investigator, someone real, someone grounded, hoping to verify Trask's claims. He'd had enough of being jerked around by people with ring lights and sponsors. Days passed. Then, without warning, Trask's second video was delayed. His fans flooded the internet with theories. Had he gone missing? Was he silenced? Or was it all a hoax? Then came the live stream. At 3:17 a.m., Noah Trask went live from the abandoned military outpost. The wind howled around him as he huddled in a corner of the cracked concrete structure. His camera shook, breath visible in the cold. He claimed to have found something buried under rubble, a rusted tin box, locked shut. He didn't open it right away. He stretched it out for suspense, promising a reveal after a short ad break.